A brand new No Man's Sky update is on the horizon, and I am excited. Stay right here in the LZ while we speculate what's next for No Man's Sky. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in the LZ. Welcome back. So good to have you. And out of nowhere today, my man Sean Murray tweeting out orange emojis and things like that shortly after unveiling the name and the potential release for the new No Man's Sky update called Origins. Get it? Oranges, yeah, okay. With an announcement of sorts, Sean Murray leaves us with our hype boners hanging out for the entire weekend, waiting for new information. But he did give us a little bit of information about sort of what the aims are for this new update, also teasing a complete collage of images of all of the updates that have been released for the game in the last 4 years. Sean says, for years ago, we announced Foundation, our first major update for No Man's Sky. We promised it won't be our largest update, but it is the start of something new. Those words were true at the time, and they ring true for Origins. We called it Origins because it's the beginning of something new, as No Man's Sky continues to grow and evolve. Beyond came out last year, bringing VR, hugely expanded online play, and since then, we have focused on releasing more regular updates. Synthesis, Bytebeat, Living Ship, Exomech, Crossplay, and Desolation have been some of our most popular, surprising, and transformative updates, leading No Man's Sky to have its biggest year to date. We know there's a huge appetite in the community for No Man's Sky content, and the team has worked our socks off this year to deliver in difficult circumstances. We've been quiet, but we are always listening and focusing on improving the game that our team loves and feels so passionately about. This update will be another small step in a longer journey. We hope you can join us. So I do think, even though it's not a whole lot of information, there is some nuance to probably unpack here. Foundation was the first update for the game that gave us quite a bit of hope after 3 straight months of almost complete silence from Hello Games after a horribly botched launch. After that, each subsequent update provided a lot of extra content and a lot of growth to the sort of platform that was No Man's Sky to be built on over the coming years. With each new year, a newer, larger update announced and launched for this game, bringing with it a lot of new potential that previously wasn't there. And even though I personally didn't really favor the Beyond update, it just ended up being a bad update for me in general. Lots of bugs, lots of glitches, made the game mostly unplayable for me. A lot of the subsequent updates, especially the Desolation update, really brought me back around again. Now, while I don't want to pick it apart too much, along with this new announcement, Sean Murray released an image as part of that collage of update images, sort of hinting at kind of what's next. One thing that I pulled away right away from this image is lots of bright colors. The image also separates what looks like 3 separate new biomes. Historically, these game art images, presumably produced by artist Bo Lamb at Hello Games, there is likely some information to pull from this. Likely some new fauna, new flora, and with these 3 separate biomes sort of chopped up into 3 separate spaces in the image, while I think it's unlikely that we're going to get an update that adds new separate biomes or multiple biomes per planet, I do believe that would it be necessary to add new biomes, new types of planets to the game that's already existing. Our character over on the right looks to be wearing some sort of cape. I see new art assets, and also some varying color, green and reds, likely hopefully mixing up the palette. Now here's a caution that I have for the No Man's Sky community. One of the best things that you could do, my advice anyway, is to not overthink this. One of the best ways to hype for a new update is to not hype for it at all. Come in with 0 expectations and be surprised. Sean hints in the actual passage that he released today that it's looking to possibly be a smaller update, leading to some new things coming up. So really, you're just best to not speculate about the size of the update. Don't think too deep about what's in it, and keep your mind sort of on the surface level for what No Man's Sky is presenting in these hints. Coming into the Desolation update, I had no expectations and no hype for this update, and it completely over-delivered. But that doesn't mean that we can't have some hopes for what this update or a future update might bring. I see a lot of speculation that this is going to bring the much requested variation to No Man's Sky that is almost overwhelmingly and universally begged for. For 4 years, No Man's Sky has been sort of a palette that has been loosely painted on, with a lot of the same brushstrokes and the same colors. No Man's Sky is an exploration game, but for seasoned explorers, you're probably seeing a lot of the same things over and over again, let's just be honest. Unless this has been an update that's been in the works for more than a year, and has sort of been in development on the sidelines while the team releases these sort of smaller bite-sized updates, I wouldn't expect too much. But I do have a couple of hopes for what I would like this update to be. First things first, Desolation set the standard for what I hope this game continues to be going forward. It offered a great gameplay loop, a wonderful exploration experience, and genuine gameplay that I've always wanted to appreciate about this game, but it offers so very little of. Having sort of a dungeon mechanic has been always sort of a dream of mine for No Man's Sky, and I want them to really expand on that. That kind of core gameplay design, I think, is something that No Man's Sky has always desperately needed. And to finally see it get something like that has really impressed me. And while I don't think we're going to hear about it right now, with next-gen consoles being about 2 months away, we're likely to hear about a next-gen type update for No Man's Sky, maybe not for Origins, but for a following update. I'd be surprised if we hear anything about next-gen consoles with this particular update, but if we do, and Origins is something that we get to look forward to, prepping the game for next-gen consoles coming up, I'm really curious how Hello Games is going to handle this game on next-gen, considering a lot of us have a lot of high hopes for what this game could do on next-gen consoles, but would severely be held back because it's a current-gen game with crossplay. So while I doubt that's going to be a focus for the Origins update, I would not doubt that that is something that's coming up very soon. And one last thing that I really hope comes with Origins, and I really mean this, get your trigger warnings ready. I am desperately hoping for a galaxy reset for No Man's Sky. Hear me out. I know this isn't always a popular topic, and it's definitely something that's a lot of people are back and forth on. But the way I've always looked at resets in No Man's Sky is that if it justifies a reset, then it should be done, right? If they're making something so significantly change in No Man's Sky that it must have a reset to accommodate those changes, I am all on board for that. And historically, generally, they've always had a pretty good reason for resetting, but they've also been pretty good about your bases as well, and sort of giving you your resources back or giving you a way to relocate them. I hope that that's something that all of you base builders get to have in this game if they do reset things. Otherwise, RIP bases and good luck in your next builds. I'm holding out hope that No Man's Sky Origins is going to be a fantastic update that we get to see next week. What do you think should be in No Man's Sky Origins, and what do you think realistically that it is? Type that in the comment section down below. Great to have you here in the LZ. Like the video if you thought this was informational, and of course, stick around for more content coming up this week for No Man's Sky Origins.